Also, I guess
The
this is
same way
actually not.
it's Macross 7 stuff. It's the
It's not.
power
It's
of their
not
will.
Macross 7 stuff. It's Macross Frontier stuff. And I'd also argue that I'm wrong. It's not the new sphere. This is collective consciousness, not collective unconsciousness. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here for the end of Macross Delta, the show. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you already said before we even started recording you're going to be a bit flippant this episode, which is usually my shtick, so...
I mean, I can't help it. I mean, for people who don't know at this point, you probably all do. I'm the one who suggested to Theta, hey, are you want to watch Macross? Because Macross is great. And so far, we've had an uneven ground on experiences. We agree on some things. We certainly disagree on some others. So you would expect me not to be the guy who's like, well, really, that thing kind of not good. But I'm kind of in the mode because it's these couple episodes. I'm like,
Do you mean you're in the mode in the DC Comics way?
Or in the mood. The mood is the word I should have
Well, you said mode, and the only one I ever hear say that is Impulse from DC Comics. Feel in the mode.
Yeah. It should be the mood.
Well, here's the thing. Since we watched this all in chronological order, I feel like your experience has been, you know, this, and then dip, and then this, and then dip again. Because, you know, yeah. Macross 0, SDF Macross, Macross Plus, Macross 7, Macross Frontier, Macross Delta. For me, it hasn't been that way. Obviously, mine has been the same, just the dip before Macross 7, and then up at Macross 7, so... And then, I don't know, I'm flippant always, so this doesn't really affect me that much. At the same time, I've got high hopes for what the movies may bring. Again, I'm banking everything on that one comment that said Labyrinth of Time should have been viewed between the movies. And I did check. Labyrinth of Time was released with the first movie. So, yeah, so could be something there. And that's what I'm really hoping on.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, the same way that the Macross 7 30-minute movie was released with something else. So, yeah, I'm banking everything on that. So I am, even if this episode is bad, I'm not going to lose all hope just yet. The same way that even though I wasn't a big fan of Frontier, the second Frontier movie is one of my top things. So, there's still hope, even if the show sucks. Well,
I mean, I really like Frontier, but then we all know that already. So
yeah, I enjoyed Frontier. It's just not my top thing. The problem is when a list reaches a significant number of items in it, you start saying, oh, this is like my 5th favorite thing, and it sounds like, oh, you didn't like it at all, huh? It's like, no, there's a lot of good things. 5th down is just the 5th good thing. So, anyway, moving on, we come with notes and a board, and as always, we start with the board.
Yeah.
Where I only have one item in my changelog, which is that I added Asai, I don't know how to say her name, and tied her into Hayate and Right. And I guess also somewhat note is that I replaced the blue box that was Right's box with an actual image of him, which was somewhat of an ordeal because the image editor that I use went down last night for some reason.
I hate when that happens.
Well, I use Canva for like everything. Not sponsored, but would take a sponsorship, please.
You'll take the money.
Well, you know, I have no problem advertising things that I actually use, right? Like, you're never going to see an advertisement for, like, any of those mobile games, because it wouldn't make sense. For one thing, I don't have a phone. So, if you ever see an advertisement on there, just take it for granted I've sold out. I don't even use BlueStacks to emulate mobile game stuff. I tried. I can't do it.
I actually don't like to control some mobile games anyway, so...
I'm not going to edit my BIOS to emulate mobile game shit. Well, no,
And
I
yes, I
wanted
know
to
you
do
can
it.
buy adapters, but
I
yeah,
wanted to do it because of an SAO game I think that was coming out. It's like, oh, I want to play that. I want to see what that's about. Because even that shit ties into the anime stuff that we do.
it does.
Well, any notes
Well
about the
then,
board?
not really.
Well, I guess since this is probably the last time we're going to see the board in a while, I'll point out the fact that I added Derek to the board a long time ago, and you never noticed or mentioned it.
Very cool.
Derek Zabi.
Oh,
It's been a
there
running
is.
joke
But it's not
forever.
connected. It doesn't connect to
Of
anything.
course he
So,
wouldn't. He's a made-up character. I made him up.
yeah.
Why would he connect anything?
Also, let me see. You have a connection between Royd and Mikumo? No, you don't. I suppose that there might be a connection there.
Well, then why didn't you mention that last episode?
Because I'm mentioning it this episode.
Well, that's a bullshit thing to do. They established that
True.
connection last episode. If I could remember the quote from The Wedding Singer, I'd be doing that right now. This is
Yeah.
information that could have been brought to my attention Tuesday, or whatever the fuck he says. Ironically, Tuesday, when we're recording these.
Yeah. But did you die? Well, that completely different show anyway. But
So, on to notes. As per our rules, I have more. That means I go first. So, Hayate's father was given the mission to carry a Dimension Eater to the Derwent ruins and chose to try and fly it elsewhere. And in doing so, tipped his hand to his superiors, who remotely activated the bomb and blew him up. As I guess anyone could have guessed, clearing Hayate's father's name right at the very end. Except, hold that thought, lessons, I have a lot more to read. Except a number of things seem odd to me. We took a detour with ARAD earlier to the old nuns base and looked at pictures of the crew there, where we noted that it seemed like the people there were getting along with the locals. Why wouldn't they just refuse orders rather than taking off, and then pretending like they were intending to follow orders? I get the idea that there might have been plenty of guys that would have been willing to do it, but if that was the case, why show us the detour where ARAD gets nostalgic about what a good group of guys these were? Also, not a great job of proving Wright was a good guy. Instead of flying towards his target, the ruins, he tries to get away from it by flying over a major population center? Instead of, I don't know, not, or flying straight up in the same amount of time it took him to lie about the turbulence? Hell, fly right back to the base and circle it. That'd give them less incentive to remote detonate for sure. Just seems like the worst outcome happened for no real reason.
first of all, no, he didn't get blown up.
He did get blown up. They remote detonated it. They even said it in the episode.
No, but he can get blown up because if he was blown up, his fighter was going to be there, and they wouldn't have found his
Well,
body.
that
in the
is just
cockpit.
another thing about the episode that doesn't make any goddamn sense. He said they remote detonated it, and then it cuts him off. Like, I don't know what the fuck is happening then, because I don't disagree with you. How is his dead body in the plane? How is the plane there? But they did say they remote detonated it.
And in the video, we see that they drop the bomb, and the bomb explodes behind
When
him
you're
as
saying
well.
in the video, you mean the previous episode where they broadcast that to the galaxy. Yes, don't disagree. That's just another thing that doesn't make any sense. I'm only indicating what they said in the last episode. You're applying logic to it, and I don't disagree. My problem is everything I just said. Why did we detour with ARAD to show that all these pilots are great guys? If they're all such great guys, why didn't they all just refuse the orders? You know? Also, Hayate's dad, oh, there's turbulence, I'm going this way. Oh, cool. So he protected the ruins and flew over a major population center instead. Good job. On why do that? Again, you're in a Valkyrie that can go straight up, fly straight up, and you wouldn't have killed all those people. Or, as I said, fly back to the base and just circle the fucking base. They're probably not going to remote detonate on themselves. Wright Illman
I think
was a fucking idiot.
well, I think it's way more than they don't simply remote. They should. Because here's the thing: we know that they can remote control the aircraft as well. Which, by the way, why need a pilot to drop the bomb if they can do that? So that's
You know that
another.
they can remote detonate the bomb. This is not a good argument to make if this is the route you're going to go down.
No, I'm saying that they could have remote piloted the plane itself. They didn't need.
That's a
pilot.
claim that we made a long time ago, that we thought
Yeah.
he was dead the entire time and they were just making him the fall guy for it.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. I mean, maybe that's something we're going to get revealed this episode. But the point is that no, he didn't. Obviously, they have a recording of him flying the goddamn plane. Why would they have that recording if they didn't even release that? Like, so they didn't. He was flying the plane and he was an idiot. A good-hearted idiot is still a fucking idiot. He should have flown right to the ruins. Like, why was he protecting the ruins instead of the people?
Well, I don't think he was trying. I think he was trying to protect more than that. He just never got a chance to clear the area, right? We don't know exactly,
Well,
if he was trying to go around.
We know from the episode that we spent wasting time marching through the wilderness, there's plenty of uninhabited areas on this planet. And he chose to fly over a populated area. Thousands of people.
The thing is, these weapons are very powerful. So even if he tried to go around,
we saw the blast radius.
It's pretty off. I mean, we're talking about a thing that destroyed like a mountain.
We spent half an episode wandering through wilderness that had nobody in it. We didn't encounter just civilians wandering around. Oh, you're real close to a village. No, in fact, we went through a tunnel that was like 3 kilometers away from the next village, as we know from Freya saying so. There's plenty of spaces nobody's in. And he, can't go that way. Time for New York.
Well, my counterpoint is my first note. So yes, the nuns were the ones that made the attack, but their objective was to put the protocultural ruins, not civilians. And this fire tried to save lives by flying the bomb away from civilian areas, but failed.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a counterpoint. That is just more of the facts. I would argue that your counterpoint was the application of logic that you said earlier, which is that they didn't remote detonate, but they did remote detonate. They just, I guess, remote controlled the plane to make it drop the bomb. Like, what killed him?
Did he commit suicide?
In the cockpit? Oh, fuck. Like, what?
Whatever.
I mean, I'm just saying, it made it sound like they detonated the bomb on him, but as we said, we have the recording, and there's a plane and a dead body. Well, I guess, look, my next note is literally 6 words, and maybe it's a clue. Falcon 2 was an unknown call sign to ARAD.
Yeah.
ARAD, who was stationed at the base before, was subordinate to Wright, doesn't know the call sign Falcon 2. Maybe there is still a lot more nonsense at play.
But I got a note about that. Not the Falcon 2, but this episode in general, or the next episode. The fact that Burger can so easily and arrogantly control the Elysian systems really screams, no, really, I'm the bad guy here.
I disagree. I, in fact, think they might be the ultimate good guys. Ironically, though, I think we're still 1 for 1 on notes, because my next one is literally about the Epsilon Foundation.
I mean,
I have a future note about why they might be the ultimate good guys, so I'm not going to engage in that thought process. I'm hinting towards a future thought, essentially. I know you always think Burger is the bad guy. You thought they should have shot him on sight. You've said that in an episode before. So I just disagree, but I could be wrong, because this is trying to guess what's going on in Macross 7. There's no idea. It's shit happens weirdly. What are we gonna do next episode? Crash into the sun? Cool, wouldn't have guessed. I feel like the Epsilon Foundation doesn't need to try and take anyone over, as they already control everything. It seems it seems that everyone relies on them so much that they just have control over most people's technology with a snap of the fingers, due to them supplying the parts for it all. The only thing they really seem to lack and want is the research on the protoculture that the Windemirians are doing. as I guess whatever as I guess whatever applicable uses they could find for that, it would make them the first supplier of it, and in the same boat as they already are for having control over anything that using it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that the Epsilon was actually run by Lady M.
The way Burger talks, he seems to be like he talks about Lady M like a distinct figure from Epsilon. So I don't think that's the case.
He's dropping hints that are apparently um, not like hidden facts about Lady M, where the communications come from, etc. Like it might be that he knows this stuff because he's in contact with Lady M as well. I say I wouldn't be surprised if Burger is just another middleman for Lady M. Like, how did Lady M get the stuff from Windermere? Maybe Burger got it to her. Like, Lady M, if the assumption is correct, is one of the characters from SDF Macross, has had a lot of time to set all this up.
Well, I have a note about that as well.
As do I.
Because, yeah. There note. Just like Birdman's wind people, fish people bit in Zero, now we have Raga, the water planet, and Windemirians and Windermere, the air planet, the wind planet, pair it up.
Cool, that means humans are just a Ragna, a person, and a Windemirian had sex, and they had a human baby.
It could be just repeated symbology from the protoculture as
That
well,
wasn't
right?
serious, that was sarcasm or a joke.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think genetics works that way. I'm just saying that if you take the symbology and you just, like, played it as it was true, you know? This kind of shit that we would, like, be upset about if they actually showed it in the show. You know, Adam was a Ragna, and Eve was a Windemirian. Wherever Lady M is, it's a place that must be reachable since they just got the DNA sample to her. I added that, it's not even in my note. Since they got the DNA sample to her. Berger references the fact that Chaos received a message from Lady M from the Mega Road 1 while on Ragna just after the Vajra conflict, and that the Mega Road 1 had been missing for over 50 years. Obviously, the Mega Road 1 launched in 2012. 50 years would be 2062, with over implying more than 50, except that the Vajra conflict ended in 2059. So, just a little pedancy, the Mega Road must have been missing for 47 years at most.
Well, I'm just going to jump in my note then. A bit about the Mega Road. Well, I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest, but it does mean that Chaos existed before this metro came about, which begs the question, why is she now in charge of Chaos, and how does she communicate with them if the Mega Road is, well, still missing?
Well, again, that's what I was saying, that wherever it is, it must be reachable. Also, the fact that they said the best place to communicate with it is on Ragna, and Chaos's base is on Ragna.
Well, Chaos seems to be bigger than the people right there, but that's their
Yeah, you
main base
remember, like,
the
in
cluster.
episode 1 or 2, I was talking about the poster that had information about Chaos and where to sign up for it and everything. And that was saying it was. I don't remember exactly what it said. What did I write down? Let me search for the word poster. On the text of the poster, it says, conference when coming to the Macross Elysium venue at the Lara Lacana. Baranati Chaos Lagna branch base. Please register at the reception desk. Okay, well, I guess it's a branch base. But either way, they have their, what do you call it? Macross ship there.
The Elysian is a Macross type battleship, but I
That's what
don't
I just
know.
said. They have their Macross ship
Yeah,
there. That's where their Macross ship
yeah,
was stationed before they evacuated. So,
Elysion.
essentially, their globular cluster base was on Ragna, the place that Lady M can contact. All
But the
right.
thing is that it's easier for them to contact them but they didn't know anything about the Mega Road. When we're like, oh, what? What did they know about that? Oh, I spoke too much. Like, okay.
Yeah, to my indication that I think Lady M probably runs the Epsilon Foundation. I think Burger is just going to turn out to be a middleman for Lady M. Well, anyway, you read your note in response to mine, so mine next. So, does the Star Singer Delta Wave thing have anything to do with the VAR syndrome or the Vajra fold bacteria? Or does it just affect all humanoids, like Burger seems to be implying? Also, he seems to imply that if the song were to ring out through the entire galaxy, something big would happen. Except, 30 seconds into the start of the episode, Johnson said that the entire galaxy heard her song, with readings unlike anything previously recorded. So that already happened, Burger, and apparently the thing you indicated would happen didn't happen.
It might not be the right song, though.
He said if the song were to ring out through the entire galaxy, and Johnson said that the entire galaxy heard her sing. Legitimately,
But
you're just adding facts. I know, you're just adding facts now, though. Burger didn't imply she has many songs, and if the song I'm talking about were to happen. No, he just said if she were to sing. If her song was heard, and Johnson said 30 seconds into the episode, we all heard her song. The galaxy heard her song, and it was off the charts. Yeah, what I'm saying is much like our conversation about Wright in the aircraft. Conflicting facts.
The next note then. On the runes, the runes protect you from control. Then why are Windermere's exposed to music aging at an accelerated rate? It might protect you from control, but apparently it's also killing you.
Who is the one who specifically says that again?
Roy says it to the knights.
Does Roy say it? Okay, I thought it might have been Hines that said it. Because I was going to say,
Hines the one who pulls his shirt off. And
I know. I'm not disagreeing with the fact itself. I was just trying to get the impetus of who's saying it. Because if Roy's saying it, then clearly it's misinformation. I was leaning more towards somebody else saying it, and it just being incorrect information. Because also, we've never gotten that indication before that that's what the rune does. Again, it seems like the rune is like the tentacle things. Device. Well, no, I would say well, no, because they also treat it like a sex thing. Stop staring at my rune, you pervert. I was gonna say like the tentacle thing that comes out the hair of the Na'vi in Avatar. Because when Roy killed the king, and their things go near each other, and it's like, oh, and that's when he told me his plan and everything. It's like, did they pass something? So I don't know. I've already indicated, like, with the color thing with the runes. There's so much there I just don't fucking understand. That was my indication to you before when you were talking about the wind colors and everything. What that fucking means. I was like, it's one of many things I don't understand. According to legend, the Star Singer exists only to sing and only obeys the royal house of Windermere, or those in a similar position of authority. That's a quote. Kinda implying that the Star Singer isn't something that comes from 500,000 years ago, but rather sometime from inside the Windermerean culture's own history. Hell, not even just the history of their entire culture, but the history of their people, insofar that they've had a royal house.
True. But then they did say before that the Windermere, the Star Singer was a gift from the protoculture, and it was presumably the genes of the Star Singer that went to perhaps the Windermerean royal house or selected families, and they became the wing singers, right? The very special wing singers. So
I may or may not have a note about that, but yes, I have also, as to my previous note where I connected the whole Serename thing to this, that's essentially the same thing as Serename having the bloodline of protoculture or whatever in her. I'm not disputing the fact the wind singers may be that, but they're talking about the Star Singer. And we covered before that the Star Singer is a thing that was left behind in the ruins, a priestess of the protoculture, and we had a whole discussion before about 500,000 years ago or something like that. And my indication is that if she only exists to take the orders of the royal house of Windermere, then how old is the fucking royal house of Windermere?
Okay. And now, in the penultimate episode, we get Roy's real motivation for why he's doing what he's doing. Well, if he can be believed. Feels like a piece of information. Yeah. It's over. I already said this. Never mind.
I mean, I'm confused because I don't know what Roy's actual motivation is unless I took it as a lie. So I don't.
I mean, it could be a lie, but it's like, again, I feel it's not. It would have been important again several episodes ago, maybe when he was talking to Keith that also many times, or staring down at the Vogue.
Tell me what you thought or what Roy said his motivation was, and I can parse it if I just wrote it off as a lie and just put it in my head.
Well, according to him, the reason why he's so obsessed with protoculture is that he is part of the long list of priests who are the keepers of the ruins and the protoculture, as they worship the protoculture in some manner, right? And therefore, he's heard about the Star Singer from the very first, so he's obsessed with all this. That's why he had to study it more. That's why he wants to, control it or understand it, right? So that's part of his motivation, why he's doing that, and why he kneels before
Well, I took that
right?
as why he knows what he knows or why he's doing what he's doing. I don't take that as what his plan is. Or did you just say
motivation?
Okay, never mind. That was the problem.
No.
I took what you were saying as to be what his plot was or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no. I guess it is motivation. Sorry, it just feels weird to call that motivation because it's just like...
It's not a complete... it doesn't tell you... Okay, now... It tells you why he's engaging with this.
No, I think my problem is it's like
it doesn't tell you why he's doing.
If we were watching,
what his plan is.
Right? Yeah, well, that's the why would be the motivation. Again, it's like if we were watching a show with a supervillain who like created a death ray and pointed it at the atmosphere because I'm going to destroy the Earth's atmosphere, and be like, "It's all thanks to that time I spent at MIT learning how to make engineering shit." And they're like, and we were talking about, "Oh, that's his motivation." I'd be like, "Well, it's not really." It gives us information how he got there.
I come from a long line of meteorologists who are obsessed with the weather and controlling it. That's why I'm doing this. It's like, yeah, but you want to destroy the atmosphere, not control it. So,
well, yeah, again, though,
it would be why. The final why is not. This doesn't answer the final.
I feel like there's just too many missing steps there. Like, it's good information to know that he comes from the priesthood. It kind of makes him the Serename, really. But it's not motivation. It is just backstory element, I feel like.
Which is why I ended up tending the way I did. It's like, yeah, that would have been important. But
unfortunately, much like Macross Plus, I got lost at the beginning. Royd calls the location on Ragna the Temple of Stars, and it made me think of the Labyrinth of Time location as we'd recently been discussing it. And as a reminder, that place was also referenced to as a temple and called the Well of Souls.
Nothing to add to it.
Yeah, really. It's just one of my reminder notes. It has nothing really to discuss.
I talk about the Mega Road, so I'll go down to my second to last note. Mirage telling Hayate to see Freya is her admitting that she knows that where Hayate's heart lies. It had that sort of final, yeah, I know I don't have a chance here, so go ahead and talk to her.
You said Mirage?
It's more important. Mirage, yeah.
Yeah, I have a note about, I don't. Okay. My note, because I think you're talking about this as a segment of the episode. When Mirage goes to see Hayate, she says this will be the final battle. Based on what? What has happened to make you think this isn't just going to be another in a long line of battles? This isn't like when Macross 7 went to fight the Proto-Devlin and it very clearly was the last fight against them. This is just another thing the Windermerians are doing. If you defeat them at Ragna, why wouldn't you think that they wouldn't strike back somewhere else or pull some other unexpected ploy like they've been doing all series? The only guess I've got is that Mirage can see what episode number she's in.
Or I think it's more like if you succeed, more like if we fail, then that's the last chance, to really stop them or even.
Yeah, but I wouldn't describe that as the final battle. It's like, this is our last chance to stop them, would be the terminology to use.
They also describe going after the ruins in Windermere as the final battle as well, and it turns out not to be that.
Well, maybe this is me being flippant then, because it seems weird that you have a character in episode 25 saying, "This is our final battle," when it's like, not really. If you
I mean,
beat
I
them
get what you're
here, the
saying. I'm not gonna.
Windemirian. Yeah,
I
no, I'm
mean,
not. I'm not just arguing with you. I'm just arguing with the show. It's like for me, it'd be like if you defeat them here, the Windemirians have a fleet and ships and the Windsinger back at home, and they've spread the the Var syndrome all over the place. They have more fight left in them if you defeat their master plan. This isn't the final battle. This is not even mop-up operations. You got more shit to do.
and my final note. Oh no, the big bad Nuns fleet is going to commit a war crime. Maybe this will be a setup for a three-way battle between Chaos, Nuns, and. Never mind. This is episode 25 of a 26. We don't got time for all that.
You know how I think I've said this, and maybe no, actually I said this during Gundam Seed Destiny. For Gundam Seed Destiny, no, sorry, I said this during other Gundam shows. I think OG Gundam. OG Gundam, we did everything 3 times, and it got better every time we did it. Like, the first time kind of sucked. The second time was, okay, I see what you're trying for. The third time was, okay, you've learned everything along the way. And the third time we did a thing was the best time on screen that we've done it. This is just when Keith flew out and defeated them, but better, right? We should have never done the Keith flies out and defeats everybody solo. We can do a better Keith is a good fighter scene somewhere else. Because we already did mind control 100 times before that. We could have just had Heinz sing and have them self-detonate, and it would have been a cool scene back then. Because, Heinz is also the one who orders her to sing, and then have them detonate themselves. So, this was just that again, and we could have done it cooler back then, because it's also, the full jammer thing isn't working, and I think it literally was at 17% back when Heinz, when Keith killed them all.
Yeah.
So, just that again.
Yeah, but the thing is like, oh wow, because the thing's like, oh no, they're gonna come and bomb us all, blah blah. And like, no, not really. Just sing. Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, we
I
talked
think it
about
was
that.
designed. It was designed to show how powerful Mikumo is as a star sinker, and how the stakes are so high that they can order a fleet to wipe itself out. But it kind of felt like, oh, by the way, we're running out of time with the episode, so just get rid of it.
Well, except
we don't
for
want
the
to
fact
have
that it's the after credits segment, so.
Yeah,
but
so
the thing
they
is,
throw it
again,
in, like,
we've done this before, so it already wasn't a threat the last time the nuns showed up. It's like this time the nuns are showing up, and they've got, we're going to destroy everything, we're going to make sure that nothing's a threat anymore. Except, you guys haven't changed anything from the last time you showed up and got destroyed.
I think it would have been better
just
if it was an
another
opening to either something in the background of the final episode, like a countdown clock. We got to do whatever we got to do before they, blow up everything, or open the episode was like, oh shit, those guys still gonna come, and they do this like, oh, now we know that. It's just again the timing is like, oh
well, the thing
after credits
is that they should have learned their lesson. Oh, we can't send people that they didn't learn anything. I guess from their perspective, we sent people, they just fucking disappeared. They all died. We got no messages because they were being mind controlled. They didn't send anything back to say this is what's happening. Don't do it again. But they should have learned a lesson, and
it was the same
lesson should have been send the missiles by themselves, autopilot them, attach them to a fold device and fold the thing in, and then just for the purposes of having drama, they fold in an upper atmosphere, and we have a limited time to intercept them as they come in. And that could have been the thing. Delta Force. Not sorry, they're not. Are they Delta Force? I forget all of a sudden what they're.
Delta Squadron, yeah.
The Delta Squadron has to fly in real quick. We have seconds before they reach the surface of the planet. And that is the final thing. Like, it would be also kind of suck ass, because it would be like the nuns haven't really been a threat this entire goddamn time. And now they're their actual final boss. But it would still be something. And it would display the fact that nuns can fucking learn lessons and not just do the same thing again.
Yeah. And it's also the only satisfying thing about it is like the people who get blown up. Like if the leader of the squadron was a jackass who blew up the other bomb and almost killed everybody. It's like, oh, we're gonna do it no matter what. Oh, sure, we're gonna give you a couple of hours to evacuate. Sure. But he's like,
I will
That's it.
argue.
That's the only satisfaction.
I will argue that's not satisfying because I didn't give a shit about him. I never gave a shit about that guy. He wasn't present enough to be worthy of disdain. Like, that guy sucks. Okay, on to next thing. You know, it'd be like some kid kicks you in the shin and later you see him trip and it's like, huh, okay, whatever. Alright, well, I've got plenty of notes left. For some reason, it's easier to open a hyperspace gate from Ragna now. You know, despite the fact that we went to Alfheim to open that gate to Windermere. Also, don't know if we ever discussed this before, but I guess hyperspace is just a thing now. I don't know if we were just referring to fold space as hyperspace now, or if hyperspace is just what we mean when we refer to the new way that we traverse fold space, aka the difference between how fold was in SDF Macross and then in Macross Frontier. You know, where we open
Yeah.
like a gate and then we can put a bunch of ships through there at once instead of just like, I don't know, that weird fold thing that we saw when Misa and gang were like trapped on the Centrati ship. It was like
Yeah.
weird, like 3 images at once as we like in a weird thing, and were uncomfortable during it. Well,
it took them weeks, I think, or days or weeks to get to where they were going. So you know,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
I think
that
it took them days.
is
Yeah.
hyperspace just a different form of how we traverse fold now, and we just never really discussed it. But again, yeah, what they say in the episode is it's easier to open a hyperspace gate from Ragna now. Well, then why do we go to Elfheim to go to Windermere? And, you know, not for
Well, I
nothing,
think
we already discussed how
they do
that didn't
refer.
make
They
any
say
sense
that
either.
Royd again says the reason why, which doesn't really make any sense if you think about it, is a safety feature. The whole, Ragnar water, Windermere, wind, the two pairs. Like, oh, this is something that built by the pro culture. So so if someone takes over one location, they have to take over both locations.
Well, no,
to control
I'm
the system.
indicating that we spend the entire episode going to Elfheim, because Elfheim, we can open a portal, then go to Windermere, except Ragna is the place to open portals from this episode now. That's why we're going back to Ragna.
Well, to go to whatever, I think, the Star Temple is that they want to go.
Yeah, no, but they say it's easier to open hyperspace gates from Ragna. That's the reason why the thing is there. And no, the temple of whatever is on Ragna. Oh, never mind, you're talking about the celestial place. Never mind. That's a different thing. I've already had a lot of talk about that before. Anyway, Czech mentions finding Marianne, so clearly even he doesn't think she's dead.
I hope she's not dead.
Well, I don't think she's dead either. I marked her as dead on the board, as he pointed out, only because the show implies heavily that she is. But even when I did it, my board note there was, I don't think she's dead. The wave wasn't even strong enough to destroy a wooden ship.
I don't think she'll be very sad when she hears that Messer is very much dead, but
I don't think we're going to spend any time on that. We don't have any time to spend on that.
Yeah, that's the thing about this final episode. I don't know what the hell they're going to cram in. How many? 24 minutes.
Again, I'm putting all my hopes on the fact that the movies are going to do stuff like the Frontier movies did. Again, Frontier the show, I wasn't a big fan. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's not like top of my list. The second Frontier movie is like 2 to 3 on my list of favorite stuff. You can pull stuff off.
They did finish it, I think, on a solid note in this series. Whether you like it or not, it was a solid ending. It didn't feel like, what are they going to do in the last 20 minutes that they're going to have to cram all this? It was very clear. We're going to go this. We're going to have this battle. This is what people want. We understand what's going on, more or less. There's a couple of revelations at the end, but this is final battle stuff. We know. Here is like, well, they open up a temple and we're still discovering what's happening.
My hope is that the second movie is its own thing and not a compilation of stuff. That this is going to end setting up a different thing. But then again, I've also put out there that this could end just shittily, and then the movie compilation is going to finish here and be its own thing, setting up the second movie. Or again, the second movie could just be a compilation that just goes in a different path with a different ending. I already said the Mirage Hayate thing. Either Wright Immelman wrote the stupidest letters ever known to exist, or they have another meaning yet to be seen. like each page is one sentence thing, is to be used somewhere. For some reason, when I was thought about this, I thought about Ultima 3. Familiar?
I know Ultima. What do you mean? No.
Ultima 1 is what's his name? Ultimate evil guy whose skull can destroy the planet. I can't remember his name all of
Yeah.
a sudden. Ultima
It
2
also
was
gets
his
space. Yeah.
girlfriend. And Ultima 3 was their child, which turns out to be a computer that you put punch cards into. Where the floor is the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking, that each of these sentences is actually like a lyric you have to sing, or something
Yeah, it
that you
could
have
be a
to
lyric
input
here.
into a protoculture computer, or that's what I'm saying, that maybe he got these things from like each of the ruins or something, and they're not actually letters, that they're actually things to be used. Like I said, these would be the stupidest fucking letters ever written if they are actually letters. Like, not worth the postage to send to your wife. But he's like, I'm gathering clues. I need to make sure this stuff survives my death if something happens. I'm gonna send it to my wife, who then sent all of this shit to his son later on, which also, doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about it. Not the why she sent it thing, the element of, my dad's a pilot? How do you not fucking know? You're apparently talking to your mom the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
Not the whole goddamn time, but you've talked to your mother before, because you told her you were going
Oh,
to be a
he
pilot.
knew that well, both of them actually. He said my mom was a nurse or a doctor we're working with the nuns, and my dad was in the military, but he didn't
He
know
said his dad
the
was a
pilot. He
soldier.
should.
He said his dad was a
Yeah, not a
soldier, but
pilot.
I'm saying that he told his mom that he was
Yeah.
going to be a pilot, and then he said the last episode, that must be the reason she sent me this stuff, knowing that I was following my father's footsteps. The whole time, the mom could have said, hey, your dad was a pilot, or, he's talking to her. She's not some mystery background character. I lost touch with my mom a long time ago. No, you just talk to her, and she's sending you shit.
Which is, again, is one of those things that 10, 15, 20 episodes ago, a simple, hey, by the way, talking about my dad and my mom, what about your mom? Well, she's back wherever we are, where I came from and whatever, right? It's just it's a thing, right? She sends me packages once in a while, right? It's something
Well,
that
I
you could
mean,
spread
obviously
out.
we know why she didn't send him packages ever, because of the fact that he is a wanderer and everything, and that's the point of showing that the package has all these, like, redirection stuff on it. So I did pause and, like, zoomed in on it, and the screenshot and zoomed in, and it's like, there's nothing readable here. Nothing indicates what planets it went to or anything. It's just a bunch of barely scribbled out, like, stampage of, oh yeah, this got redirected. And I was like, oh, okay, I was hoping to get something from this. Alright, well, I have one last note here. Like I said in the episode, I have no idea what all those glowy bits flowing around them were after they caused the nuns to self-destruct. If they were spirits or souls, like you said. Well, 1, is Delta going to be the Macross that confirms that the afterlife exists? 2, why would they appear there and not where the people died? 3, what does that mean for the bit that flew into Royd's head? Unless I'm right, and Serename died in that room, and that's Seraname's soul going into Royd, which I guess implies that Sarah's actually a villain the whole time? I don't know.
Why does it have to be Serenoma, though?
Because my previous last theory, that the Birdman that was here is the one from Earth from 50-something years ago. I know you don't like it, but I like it. That's really fun for me, and anything that adds fun to the show, it can't be a bad thing. I mean, unless you're you. You like the serious Macross stuff. I like the over-the-top Macross stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Now
I don't mean that unless you're you is like an insult. I mean, we discussed this before when I was talking about that one person who did a review of how Macross 7 is like the best Macross thing, and that you're using an example of like if you like Gurren Lagann, if you like, again, they used other example shows I can't remember off the top of my head. If you like those, you're probably going to be a fan of Macross 7. If you don't like those shows as much as you like, say, Pat Labor and other things, I never know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Pat Labor or Pat Labor. I've always said Pat Labor.
I say Pat Labor.
Well, here's the thing, is that before I started watching Visions of Escaflowne, I was like, it's probably not Escaflowne, it's probably Visions of Escaflowne. That seems like how you would read that. And I watched the show, and it's Escaflowne. It's like, okay, well, never mind. So, yeah, if you like more serious stuff, you're probably not going to like Macross 7. So, taking that into account, that's where I came up with that originally. Over the top shit I enjoy, so Macross 7 was a show that I enjoyed. Seems pretty clear I wasn't a big fan of Macross Plus, and that's the most serious one, but for other reasons, as we've already discussed, ad infinitum. So, but yeah, for me, would be a huge fucking payoff. It was actually Serename, and we wouldn't be a super fan, obviously, because I want her to be alive. I want her and Shin to have lived a life together, whatever. But it would be payoff for me if we went full circle and oh, this is where she went, and Mikumo was actually a clone of her. As to the whole is she a clone discussion that we had before, because that way you wouldn't have to have her do anything at all related to Serename, but it would still be a connection, which is payoff, and you don't have to do anything with it. She's a clone of Serename. Cool. She doesn't have to do anything that Serename would do because she's a clone. She doesn't have the information. I mean, it would be payoff if Roy dies and the thing in his head flies out of him and goes into Mikumo, and then she suddenly had all of Seraname's thoughts. That would be payoff. I guess it would be bullshit if it was Shin. Well, she flies out of her head, she has all of Shin's heads, and it's like, why would Shin's knowledge help Mikumo at all?
Is that it?
Oh, I certainly love it when I go off on my most interested fan. I get all excited about stuff, and then you were like, I'm not having any of this shit. Fun. I'm not here for fun. I'm here to shit on a show that I think is bad.
Yeah, well, you gotta get your fun where you can find it.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to let this end here before we get into the show. What could possibly turn this around for you in the scope of 21 minutes?
Very difficult to say, because I just see everything sort of piling up, and instead of progressing to an ending, I just feel like they're like shoving everything in there. Like, oh yeah, just put it in there. Just throw it in there. I'm like, I want to. I think the thing is, see, I just can't imagine other than very Deus Machina ending where something happens. Like, oh, this was all along. Okay, oh, we could have done that 20 years ago, but we're going to do it now. We win. That's it. That's the only way this thing is going to end. I don't feel that it's going to be like something that's well thought out, and that's my problem with it. At this point, everything's sort of being unraveling. And I'm like,
okay, here's the
how
thing,
do you
Lessons.
rescue this?
I didn't invite you to shit on it a little bit more. I invited you to tell me what the things
I have
that
no
could
clue.
be, but well, you've seen me. I was doing it just a second ago, telling you about the things you could put together that would make this a win
I think
for
the
me.
only way be Mikumo sacrificing herself to save the galaxy. Basically, she breaks off from the control. She reveals or gives a hint of what she really is. She breaks off from the control and turns it around against Roy. That's probably the thing, right?
I mean,
Roy's like, oh, I'm going to do that.
I said 4 episodes ago that's what I thought was 3. Whenever they first got to Windermere, that's what I said, that the whole Mikumo is only 3 years old, and they're going like, you have to live your life, you have to experience the world. And I'm like, we have 2 episodes left. That's not going to happen. So that she must have to sacrifice herself.
Or Mikumo, because there's a whole issue about the Windermereans living too short lives, and that seems to be like they're looking for a solution to that as well. Oh, we got to do all this very quickly because we don't have enough time. That's, we're running out of time. We die very quickly. And Mikumo sacrificed herself to give the Windermereans longer lives, right?
Yeah, nothing like rewarding the villains for bad behavior.
No, I mean, it's like the end of DS9. Remember the end of DS9 where they're like, okay, we're
You're really going to spoil this because only thing I remember from the end of DS9 is Gul Dukat throwing himself into hell for the Pot Wraith or Pot Wraith.
Not that.
Legitimately, that's the only. I wasn't a fan of DS9, so I saw the battle scenes from the Dominion War, and I never watched. And I was a Voyager guy. I was watching Voyager back to back with Babylon 5 on UPN.
I was a DS9 guy. Well, sort of. I kind of chat on the show, but then
Well, I mean,
going back to it's
obviously,
like,
in hindsight, here in the future, we all know that I think DS9 won the narrative war. But I enjoyed Voyager, even though it was technically, I can say, as a fan, the worst of the shows.
At a spoiler for the ending of a 30-plus-year-old TV series, American series.
God, I don't know if I should take the headset off or not. Let you talk to the audience. I think I might, because again, I might watch this at some point. So go ahead to the audience.
Okay. You try to answer Theta's question. Here's my take on it. At the end of the series, there's a plot line where the enemies, they're one race that can shapeshift, and they're the ones who control the Dominion, who are trying to conquer the Alpha Quadrant, which where the heroes live, right? Long story short, a faction of the heroes, not so heroic faction, basically poisons this race with a disease that's going to kill them. So in exchange for ending the war, they say, okay, we're going to give you the cure to the disease, but we also need this guy, this person responsible has to come with us. They have to face justice. And like, okay, fine. We're willing to, we lost the war. We're going to have peace, right? Something similar to that where you say, oh, hey, the bad guy here is really Royd, who's responsible for all this. He goes away. Like, we want him. We want to try him. Not by the nuns, because nuns are complete assholes, which I kind of don't like. I wish the nuns were a little more balanced and always be like the big bad guy, like the big dumb bad guy in the background. And Mikuma helps the Windermerians live longer. Say, well, we're going to have to sacrifice a couple of things, but we actually you can rejoin the rest of the galactic community as, we long lived and we make peace, right? Admit that, the humans admit, hey, we F you over. And also perhaps also have that everybody's been misusing the ruins, right? That the real use for the ruins is, something more peaceful, perhaps. I don't know how, but that would be the way I would go with it. But again, the problem is in 24.01 minutes or with 24 minutes with 1 second, I don't think that people who wrote this have the chops to even copy that in well enough to make it a good ending. So there it is. I gave my piece to the audience.
I mean, I'm hoping you told the audience why something that would help you enjoy the show, because again, I wasn't giving you an opportunity to shit on it some more. I was hoping that you would tell us something that would, again, I wasn't for you to guess what the ending you thought was going to happen was. We had all of our chances to do that already. It was a chance for you to say an ending that you would be happy with, that you thought the show could achieve within 21 minutes. And not for nothing, it's not 21 minutes of actual live screen time of the show. They could do time jumps.
No. And also we have the intro song and all that, so it's probably about
No. It's 24-minute runtime. I think it's 24-minute runtime. Yeah, it's 24-minute runtime.
You also have the intro, intro and the outro.
That's what I said. That's why I said 21 minutes. I said that they could achieve in 21 minutes. I'm giving them a minute and a half for opening and ending. I know how this shit works, Lessons. I posted the how many shows thing that I watched in the Discord the other day. I have been watching shows for a long goddamn time.
Anything else?
Probably a lot, but I also recognize it is getting really hot. So let's go ahead and hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Who sent the transmission? This is a whole Black Pearl situation. No one gets away from the Black Pearl. How do you know that? Survivors. I'll say this, there better not be an opening or ending to this episode. That better be why the credits are here. We better spend 24 minutes straight. You just got done telling her how you love her laugh and it makes you calm. Legit, it seemed like you're the most on top of it couple beyond Sarah and
Yeah.
Shin, I would say, or what's her name? Mune and Isamu.
Isamu?
Well, you know, by the last episode, after the third person has been killed.
これが星の神殿。知っている。ここが私のステージ。数万の命の風が断ち切られるのを感じた。
The forest isn't gonna like this one.
これほどまでの重荷を背負っておられたのか。それが星を治める者の定めかと。キース、お前たちも同じ重荷を。これからは世も共に背負うぞ。は。しかしいたずらに犠牲を増やしはしない。今一度星の歌の力を示した後は和平交渉に移る。
You know, the original plan.
この戦いを終わらせる。これより起動準備に入ります。玉座に私がつくことをお許しください。
I mean, not for nothing. You've got to have the nuns on the back foot.
くれぐれも慎重に。
It is the
Also, it
Navi avatar thing.
風が体に満ちていく。
Yeah, I get that too sometimes. You gotta lay on your stomach, let the gas out.
ミクも感じる。ミクものズキズキ。なんだか寂しそう。銀河のために。
Welcome back to Macross Frontier.
ミクモさんの分も。
Just without a giant singing lady in the sky.
瞬間完全燃焼。命がけで楽しんで。敵艦隊捕捉。迎撃機多数接近。
デルタリーダーより全招待へオペレーションラグナロク始動各自己のベストを尽くせ
Does that even mean anything to people anymore? You know, 69 years after, 67. They're not on that. No, they're not on that on point. 67 years after the Earth has basically been ravaged. Sorry, 55 years. No, that was 2012, 2009. I'm not doing the math anymore.
I mean, yeah, they had the two singers on both sides, and they're gonna clash.
Well, no, he's in
Final
bed right
Frontier.
now. Oh, sorry,
Huh?
you mean Makumo. Never mind, sorry, I was talking about Hines. Hines is in bed right now.
No, but it'd be Mikumo between Mikumo and
Sorry, it's the Shields thing. It's the Futurama joke. I am already in my pajamas. I guess when Demirian ships don't get the fold shield thing.
Wow, it has a bunch of speakers, basically. It's a speaker ship.
It's also somewhat disappointing how lackluster the proto-culture ship turned out to be. Like, why can our ship stand up to it? It's not even as strong as Birdman was. See, it would have been at least a little bit of drama if he, like, changed his mind. Ah, she turned into that girl from Dead Man Wonderland. Did this come out
Unless
with
this
the
is supposed to be
rise
like,
of TikTokers?
Oh, there we have it.
Because essentially
Yeah,
she's
we have
singing
a-
in front of one of these ring lights. Is this the Songbirder? Because nothing seems to be happening yet either.
Oh, isn't that's a song from Do You Remember Love?
I wish Grace had been successful, and then Grace has to come in like, you're trying to steal my people, and it's like the Vajra network versus this. Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. It's not untrue. How? I mean, how would they surpass it? Because essentially it'd just be the same thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the new sphere. Collective unconsciousness.
Yeah.
Again, technically a villain I don't disagree with.
Well, I disagree with the
I know you disagree with it.
the
It's
galaxy.
the same thing as with Grace. You don't have to reiterate your point. Just say I disagree too. I mean, you do. I mean, obviously. Sometimes you have to reject people's free will in order to do what's right. And I think this is something that's right. Genus Air? Okay, yeah, sure. I thought we were gonna see one of the other kids. Not Mirage. The galaxy is an atom?
今やお前も私も銀河そのもの我らがうちに歌声を響かせよ
これが私の生きる意味
I can't help but think this is also the loosest way to win, because it seems like Royd could be defeated by a pair of scissors. His hair, just cut him off.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you're all connected. Ah, it's the best song. It's the best song from this show. Probably the worst song from this show.
Mm.
奴らを許せなどと許すわけではない統合政府とはいずれ決着をつけるだが今は
それが陛下の
誠なる風だロイドブレームを撃ち銀河を守れ
I mean, the whole point is that everyone's connected right now, so everyone should be able to think to everyone.
Yeah.
己の自我を守ろうとしても無駄だ
I'm sure you've all seen that historical document, Evangelion.
さあ我と一つに離せ俺は
くれよ守りくれ
Yeah.
I'm being Marty
As exciting
McFly.
as this feels,
Does it feel exciting?
俺はお前が好きだ俺が絶対
power
守
love.
るだからお前はお前の歌を銀河に響かせろ
颯颯私
フレイヤその手
お願い誰にも言わんで
I mean, the element is it's not that exciting.
秒でも長く歌いたい
Because it's just essentially, what if Grace was a little bit more successful? And we're just doing the same
Yeah.
thing again.
フレイヤフレイヤ颯私はあなたが好きです
Well, this is confusing things.
私は代々パイロットの家に生まれ
Is
て
now the time,
自分は飛ば
Mirage?
なければいけないんだと思って生きてきましただけどあなたと出会って一緒に飛んでようやく分かったんです私は
We're gonna get a throuple here. He's gonna
Well, no,
set
the
both-
thing is that we need to motivate Freya to sing. We don't need to
Mhm.
motivate Hayate. So, telling this to Hayate is just gonna mess with Freya.
いつまで黙っているんですフレイヤ
Oh, it's that scene from Frontier.
何も言わないつもりですかこの臆病者卑怯者腐ったリンゴ娘ミラージュお前
Oh, I remember the scene from G Gundam. Shining, burning finger.
フレイヤ好き
Man, that's right. One girl's love overpowers billions upon billions of people's thoughts.
一度だけの恋なら君の中で遊ぼうわがままなキスをしよう
フレイヤ
Was this the song that she sang when she jumped off the ship in that one episode?
Yeah.
俺も好きだフレイヤ
By the way, you know this is someone's fetish.
ひらひらと舞い
Yeah.
散るこの花をまた
Yeah, it makes no goddamn sense to me. The collective unconsciousness thing does. How the hell they're breaking free does not. Also, I guess this
This
is
thing
actually
was
not.
it's Macross 7 stuff. It's the
It's not.
power
It's
of their
not
will.
Macross 7 stuff. It's Macross Frontier stuff. And I'd also argue that I'm wrong. It's not the new sphere. This is collective consciousness, not collective unconsciousness.
娘たちなぜ俺のルンが
Yeah, it was better back when you were doing the action stuff in the other episode.
惑わされるなルダンジャールロムマヤルダンジャールロムマヤルダンジャールロムマヤ
Or how did that happen? The code word also changes the color of the planes.
了解言われなくたって後方敵のぼせて油断しないこの色ぼけ男
Also, it was their love for one another that broke them free. How did the Windermerians break free?
ありがとなミラージュ
Their loyalty to
令和
their,
Hines?
their king.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's
they only broke free after these guys broke free. Oh, cool, she got changed. Got out of the hospital bed.
it's a hologram.
I don't think so.
なぜ共に集わる
Yeah, full shields just block everything. You should literally be wearing your jet skirt things. Freya, you know that's not the real her. she's on the ship somewhere.
人ができて運が生きてるって感じでいっぱいで菊間さんはなぜどんな思いで歌うんですか？違う、私は歌は愛、歌は希望、歌は命。
It's that thing that I made a note about,
Yeah.
like in episode 2.
あなたたちと出会えたから
No, episode 3, I think.
あなたたちと一緒に歌いたい。歌は神秘。一度だけの恋なら君の中
I guess my problem with this
They-
stuff is that when you use emotion as the force that destroys a control or something like that, I'm
Yeah.
not in the universe. I don't understand what that feeling that you're pushing is.
ワルキューレ一度だけだからな。
Yeah. Also, it would have been much better if they had come to a realization again much earlier, right? Like, oh, we're just gonna do this one time because how convenient.
I mean, legit, there's also just like no real threats anymore beyond Royd.
Yeah.
Like, how is Royd even controlling everything if she's actively singing a song against him? Bakumo, I mean.
Yeah.
But again, protoculture technology just does not stand up to modern technology. So I'm also just always thinking about how my guy stood up to Valkyrie, like hand-to-hand combat. I feel like this is their most generic song, by the way.
お前は風は俺が止める。白騎士。
Oh, that's why it feels so generic. It's the opening.
あの空でお前も感じたはずだ。儚き命を超え、あの永遠を生きることができたのに。俺には今この瞬間こそが全て。
That's why they use swords. Because they suck with guns.
Well, I mean, we called this a long time ago that one of these was going to kill the other one.
Oh, I guess they both died.
Ah, cool. The Macross, sorry, the Gundam Sea Destiny ending. The lovers are going to die together. I bet they remember love. Why did we build these planes with mind control color technology?
I guess so.
Well, that happens in every show. They're used to it. They built
Oh,
it
here
into
comes the cats are back.
全軍被害状況を確認。準備が整い次第枝にビンダミアに帰還する。
Yeah, they're not going to capture us and hold us accountable for our crimes. We're going home.
最後に飛んでいたらキースもロイドもウィンダミアの空を。
Yeah, and worse yet, your king is artificially aged. So he's going to die soon
Yeah.
too, with no heirs.
帰ってきましたね。
ああ、ラグナの空だ。
Then
Yeah,
Marianne
this
comes
seems to be
crawling
too-
out from the ocean. Or from the other side, whatever.
ああ、マリアンヌ
Hasn't it been like a long time? How is she still like bandaged up?
ミクモクモクモおかえりなさいクモクモおかえりマキナ
So that was the big threat?
カナメ
Not only the thing that we did last
おかえりな
show,
さい
but also the
Mhm.
thing we've already been doing with Hines?
ただいま
Yeah.
And Hines is still around, mind you. Not that he's gonna do anything, he's like the peaceful guy, it's just, you know. Let me guess, Hayate's pulling an alto from the end of Frontier 2? No. He's doing a little better than alto, because he brought his girl with
Yeah.
him.
ハヤテ
And more than that, he chose one.
hmm
空が
Well, in Frontier, you already had chosen one.
No, they were both
He
still
chose
fighting
Cheryl.
for her. Rocket was still fighting.
海は青い
雲は大きい
Oh god, it was the stupidest letters of all
海
time.
猫はふかふか
浜辺は白い
Snow was freezing your teeth or something like that.
風が優しい
おい
私
I'm already a grandma in your
ずっと
years.
一緒だ
Oh, that was actually kind of touching. I'll give him that one. Granted, you're gonna have to commit suicide for that to be right, but okay.
覚悟するんよ
That was not well animated.
Yeah.
That was a weird transitional turn, like they were
Yeah, it
drawn
was
on
in
the
a
side of the
window thing,
cockpit.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be for the
Yeah.
movie to save. Look, I'm not
Mhm.
saying. Look, here's the thing. I enjoyed the show, right? I'm
Yeah.
disappointed that it didn't have a good resolution. I'm disappointed that apparently all shows wind up with mind control as their thing. I probably wouldn't have noticed that if you hadn't pointed it out. But it was still a relatively fun show.
Yeah.
It's not consistent enough. And it was the same thing all
Yeah.
throughout.
Repackage, basically.
All right, well, credits,
And there's
which
some-
means, I mean, not credits, this
Mhm.
thing, which means that we're not getting any after.
After.
Nothing to give us a hint towards the movie or anything. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but in its disappointing bits, at least, it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is this could have been much better than it was. It had the elements to do that, and I think that's what it's like. Oh, you have these things that are interconnected. It could have been, you had all the elements, and it's like,
It had the elements,
at the
which
end
is
of
to
the-
say it had time.
but it wasted that time.
Well, yeah, because again, it did
Ultimate.
the same thing that what I said for OG Gundam. We just do the same things over and over again. You know, we're singing, which is causing the VAR syndrome to do a thing. Cool. And then we do something else with the singing that causes the VAR syndrome to do something else. And then ultimately
Yeah.
we get to the end, and it's more singing causing things to
No.
do things. And it's like, I know I'm being very simplistic, but again, everything Hines did at the beginning is what
Mhm.
Roy did at the end, just with extra steps. Roy couldn't sing, so he needed the other thing, which was
Mm-hmm.
better singing, you know, except, no, not really. Hines could have done the same thing. That was your master plan from the beginning. Was Hines' song was going to reach through the galaxy, but now we've got this other thing. It's like, okay, how is this different from everything we've been doing so far? It's not.
Yeah, and I didn't like the knight's turn at the end because I guess the message is, oh, what we have to do is because we're following our king, our differences are too big to simply overcome in the last moment. But if you had set it up that you were, dealing with those differences, instead it was like, no, we're just going to follow orders because that's what we always do. Right?
It could have paid off with Bogue. Bogue,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. Obviously, Cassim and Hellman were those characters that were turning towards, changing a heart. But Bogue was I am so against this. I'm emotional. I'm very much, I've shown you where my whole dead family is. Back when they were doing the hacking the entire communications network, and he's like getting flustered. That could have been the opening for having Bogue, like, having sort of a change of heart over time, but legitimately wasn't just like last episode. He was trying to kill Hayate, and he's like, oh,
so they
can't spill
reinforced
blood,
it.
can't spill blood in front of the king. And it's like, then they make him the point of view character for their change of heart. It's Bogue saying, not this time, and he saves everybody, and it's like, unearned?
Yeah. Well,
I guess that's my tagline for this show. Unearned.
Unearned, yeah. Because if the king decided, no, we're going to do this. I mean, if Heinz was always, I want to avoid violence as much as possible, death as much as possible. So that's understandable. But it's like he literally went to the last minute. Well, I don't like this being in control, losing my throne to Roy. Basically, that's wrong. You should do something about it.
Because he was tricked.
Fight for me.
He didn't know Roy was going to do this, so Roy does the thing, and he's instantly like, no. This is my plan. What are you doing?
Yeah. He does say that they're going to settle with the UN later, right?
Well, that was always the plan. That was always the plan until Roy, at his coronation, said, no, this is actually what the king told me we're going to do. And then Heinz is like, okay, I guess. He's easily influenced. Not for nothing. He is, I guess, a kid. It's hard to tell with these people, the way that Freya is supposed to be like past the middle age.
Yeah, and also I think actually if they're gonna, they have the nuns in the background being essentially sketchy and manipulative. Not
always
even
are.
Manipulative, like
nuns are always sketchy, manipulative. Think back to like the bonus content we got from Macross 7, where they're like, no, don't talk to the Zentradi fleet. You fucking kill them right now. It's like, that's pretty weird.
Which I always found a weird turn of events. I don't know why they go up. I know why they do it from a Doyle's perspective. Our heroes are not technically nuns; they are mercenaries or
no. I was talking about Macross 7. You're talking about
I know.
Later you're talking about Frontier, where that is also that was the other example I was going to bring up. The Frontier, our characters are mercenaries, and they have to break away from the fucking nuns or taking over everything. Not for nothing, one of our secondary villains is Nun.
Yeah.
By the way, I love I can say that. I can say that about fucking Macross shows. One of our secondary villains is a nun.
Yeah. But I think it would have been better if they're like, ironically, if Chaos had joined with the Windermerians, right? Against the nuns, right? Maybe Epsilon and nuns on one side and the Windermerians like, the Windermerians are doing this. We realize, but as we see that Royd is taking in the wrong direction, like, oh no. We got to come in on this. Kind of like what happened in the original series, right? A portion of the Zentradi joined the humans against a larger portion of Zentradi. So here would have been more interest. Like, yeah, we acknowledge that we were part of this horror. Let us atone for that.
Think back to what I said before we started recording the episode about how the whole nuns thing could have been played out better.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of slight comedy would have worked here, where Royd goes to do his thing, and then we go like, oh god, this is fucking Grace all over again. And then what I said before about the Dimension Eaters on full devices, one just fucking comes in, eats the entire platform, Royd is dead. We're not doing the Grace thing again. You thought we were setting up for it. No, the nuns are actually the main villain, and they are going to Dimension Eater every planet, and that's what we have to do. The chaos has to go to everywhere, and they have to intercept these missiles, and that's the main threat of the show.
And that, of course, would work with the Windermerians who don't want themselves to get killed because they're a target. It's like, yeah, we're going to have to fight together because we don't want to die.
But again, also they have, like, as we already established, like little things all around every planet. So it's a joint operation between everybody to protect the cluster against the nuns. And again, a little bit of comedy by setting up Royd's whole thing to be the whole mind control thing and just a little comedy bit where missile comes in the air in the middle of him giving his speech and destroyed.
Of course, that would have killed Mikomo too. So yeah.
Well, we thought she was going to sacrifice herself. We both independently came up with that idea. It's just, I don't know. I'm not.
It would have. I think there was a James Bond movie that kind of have one of the side villains go like, he says, "I'm the king of the world. I'm the ruler of the world," and then everything explodes. Like
Yeah, no, that's Goldeneye.
Goldeneye. Yeah.
Yeah, that's famous. I can't remember the guy's name. I love him as an actor. He hates talking to fans about his work. He spins the pen. You know, click, 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 click. They're all watching the pen because a number of clicks and it explodes. But then they destroy the vats of nitro, whatever, behind him, and he's just like frozen. I am the king of the world because he's the Russian guy from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
that the love interest of the movie was with. Didn't know that he survived. I'm sorry, I was trying to remember the name of the obvious honeypot for Bond in that movie, and all I could think about is all those funny jokes about the Russian names. Like, what was her name? Ivana Kissenfuck?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember she
the
strangles
character is
the guy with the thighs.
Boris Grishenko, yeah.
Yeah, but you remember the actor's name? You
Played
got that
by
there?
Alan Cumming.
Yep,
Played by Alan Cumming.
I know he's in a ton of great shit, but all of a sudden, all I can think of is just rolling that Spy Kids movie. But yeah, no, like I said, I think what I thought of would have been better. Obviously, you could probably.
He says, "I'm invincible." It's not "I'm the king of the world." I'm invincible, and then he dies. Yeah.
No, it's famous. It's like one of the only Bond movies that I actually enjoyed. You know, other than the recent 3, Casino Royale. You know, the one who's in those. I'm not trying to talk about James Bond now. Let's get off of that track. I've already historically been bad at those conversations. Yeah, and not for nothing, it doesn't actually set up anything.
Well, I guess when the Mirians are going to keep on trying to take down the nuns, we have Epsilon still running around.
Well, Epsilon will be running around. They're the megacorp. Like,
yeah.
To my comment earlier, or sorry, my note earlier, this isn't the final battle. They just pulled back their homeworld. They didn't establish, like, the nuns didn't learn anything, I'm sure. They're like, we're going to make them peace talks. It's like, no? Pretty sure no?
Yeah.
Pretty sure they're like, you just killed a bunch of our people for the second time? How about no? Also, not for nothing, that was a pretty small fleet compared to what we did when we brought in everything on Grace. By the way, let's send you these historical records of how we dealt with our last person who tried to take over everything. We're not the good guys, the nuns. You already knew that. You were trying to take us out before.
Yeah.
Well, we're not done, obviously. We have
2
movies and a thing of specials. I think I still have to get the specials and everything like that, but we got the 2 movies to get through, which, ironically, given that we've done 1 episode yesterday, us recording behind-the-scenes stuff, and 1 today, and then 1 on Saturday. So we're getting 3 things of Delta this week.
Yeah.
Well, final comments?
I'm disappointed. Not overall, it's like I hate it. I don't hate it. I am disappointed. That will be my final note.
I love that little mix-up you had there. Overall, I hate it. I don't hate it. I'm disappointed.
Just disappointed. Could have been much better. It had the elements. I like the characters. I like some of the situations. If you're gonna take the whole music, it's magic, hyper technology thing, they're rolling with that. They actually made it a band, right? Like, whoa, we're gonna have a band that does this and uses it, and the bars and the whole thing with the bars was pretty cool. Ultimately, the fact that the Windermerians, I'm in 2 minds of it. Yeah, Roy proved to be the guy that was bad, so it doesn't put all the Windermerians in a bad light because they still have these grievances against the nuns, and the nuns are more acting like the villains in Gundam Seed Destiny. Like, our job to solve everything is genocide. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, also,
which I didn't like that. By the way,
the King was about this shit too, so it's not just Roy. It's the
that's
previous.
what Roy said.
No. We saw the King. No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about Roy's motivation for what he was doing. The king was about going out there, taking over the cluster, taking down the UN. So he also was on that ship. Hines is the mitigating factor after the king dies and when Roy doesn't have full authority to do everything. So the previous generation with the king, King Gramia, and then Royd. So it's not just Royd was the villain. Although I would
They did
argue
try
that
to introduce.
also they are not unjustified in their desire
No,
for.
I'm not saying that. And I know they tried to reintroduce the aspect of, oh, hey, it's not just about the music; it's also about understanding each other. But
It's the new
again,
type thing. Once we can understand
it's
each other through, again, mystical means, but once we all are able to understand each other's motivations, we won't do the things that hurt each other. The problem is that Royd was trying to merge everyone. Again, Royd was doing the Evangelion thing. We're going to merge everyone together, and then I'll be in charge, or whatever. I was leaning
Yes, I
towards
know
more of
best.
a new sphere thing, a collective unconscious, which is also how they say that the possibility of transhumanism to work in better computing speeds and everything. Everyone's unused brain power being used as a collective Earth brain, essentially. But, well, there's a thing I said in the middle of the episode, which is that sometimes you have to subvert people's free will in order to do what's right. Because when I think of that, the first thing that comes to my head is Georgia desegregating schools, where everybody in the state, or everybody in the county at the very least, was against the black kids going to that school, and they had to call in the National Guard, to protect them against the public free will. Racism is fucking bad, and if the entire state of Georgia, or whatever county or whatever that is, agrees that, yeah, no, don't let those in our school, well, fuck you. Your free will is going to be subverted to what's right. So,
I mean, that's a clash of ideas. Here is like, oh, you don't have any.
no, that is
all the ideas are
those
mine.
People, remember those National Guardsmen were being pelted by rocks and shit. That's not a clash of ideas. That's a clash of will. And a lot of those people on the wrong side of history thought that their free will was more important, than humanity.
Well, in a way, their free will was overriding other people's free will to say be able to have education, for example.
Well, if you want to look at devil's advocate side, it was the majority's free will against a couple of people who was overriding the majority's free will. But again, wrong fucking side of history. Human rights are human rights, and these people are human. So, again, sometimes you have to subvert the free will to do what is morally right, which is the weird thing coming from me, because arguing against you, because that's typically not where I land on this. I have the utilitarian point of view of things, but I'm also not going to argue against that. But again, that's where my head landed when I said that out loud during the episode, which is to say that I kind of see a collective consciousness as probably the best thing. You're going to subvert, like they were saying it when they were joining all their minds together. It's like, you could understand what everyone's point of view was all of a sudden. You would not want to hurt the people that you now fully understand. This is probably like a great thing. Not the way he was doing it in the end.
The way that it was being shown is as people literally disappearing.
That's what I'm saying. Not the way he was doing it at the end. If it was like a new type thing where we all just have the ability to know the intent behind everything that everyone else is doing, then great, fine. But not the way Roy was doing it.
There's a book that was written after the Vietnam War, where I forgot the name of it, but it's basically like War in the Future, and has that kind of message at the very end. I don't know if you read it. I read the graphic novel, not the book itself.
I can tell you that most sci-fi books that I've read have not had graphic novels attached to them, so not likely. I used to read a lot of transhumanist literature, which is to say not sci-fi novels or anything, but like, I can't remember his name. He wrote a lot of transhumanist stuff, like about Human 2.0 and things like that, about how to improve humanity with technology, but to, also be humanitarian about it. and he wrote a lot of stuff about the new sphere and the collective unconsciousness of humanity being used to propagate information processing and stuff like that. Like the ability to Google shit in your own head based on the collective unconsciousness.
John Haldeman's The Forever War.
Oh, I've heard of the Forever War. I have never read it.
I read the graphic novel of it, which is pretty good. I should read the original work. But the graphic novel is pretty faithful to.
Well, I think
the
I've talked to you
original, so.
plenty of times about the book Eon and Axis City, which is a city that exists in Eon where everyone's connected to the city memory. And where most people in Axis City aren't physical. They are uploaded into the city memory because having a physical body is essentially... There's not enough resources for everybody in the city to have a physical body, so most people are essentially in a matrix. Eon comes out way before the Matrix. But just that kind of concept.
Well, yeah.
Greg Bear, one of my favorite sci-fi authors. He also does blood music, where individual cells have intelligence, and it spreads like a disease across the planet. So a lot of people's intelligence becomes on cell level. And it causes... it's hard to describe. It's a really good read. Half the book is humanity trying to deal with this infection that's spreading. Half the book not even half, I guess a third of the book is the infection spreading. A third of the book is coming to the realization of what this actually means. Because blood music also kind of features the concept of reality as perception or belief. Like, if enough people believe in a thing, it becomes reality. And if half the planet is covered in cells that are intelligent, then they have the authority over the number of humans that perceive reality. So I guess the idea is there's no aliens. That humanity is the only thing perceiving the universe and thus giving the universe its actual fundamental laws. It's an amazing book amongst all of other Greg Bear's amazing works. The only other one I would really recommend is Strength of Stones, but that is fucking mind-bending.
So yeah, that's my final take on the series. We still have the movies.
I'm still counting on that second movie.
Yeah, but yeah, if I were to give it a recommendation, it would be, or a final statement is disappointing.
I guess my final thing would be where this sits in the ranking. I'm still saying I would probably recommend this before Plus. To who it would be your question, because anybody who wants to watch Macross has probably already heard Macross Plus is the best thing out there. So, to anybody who's like me, I think this is better than Macross Plus. There's probably something else I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I had it in my head. There was like two things I would put this above still.
Frontier? No, you gotta put this above Frontier.
Frontier was
the original series.
This goes too far into the Macross 7 side, but not far enough, ironically. So it's not as good at being wonky and goofy as Macross 7 is. And it tries to still be too solid. Not too solid, too straight, I guess.
Grounded.
So it does it does both things, but neither as good as other shows. So if I wanted a grounded show that was still in the fun realm, Frontier. If I wanted to go goofy, I'd go 7. So this does both, but neither is good. Ooh, maybe SDF Macross, actually. In hindsight, through all the shows we've watched so far, SDF Macross does slog.
Yeah.
Its good parts are better than a lot of the stuff we've watched, but its good parts are like islands in a sea of slog.
I can see that, yeah.
Well, anyway, I'll hold off on this whole thought process when we get to our final ranking thing, where hopefully I'll have all the imagery and stuff to do like all the movies and shows and a big old list.
Yeah.
So until then, I think we're done here for this one. I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?